Hi everyone, I just want to come on here really quick to let you know what's been going on. I know I haven't been on here for a while. December 16th was my last video that I've done, and I haven't done anything since. And I wish it was more like good news, exciting news, like, oh, let's say, hey, I'm going to be featured in magazines. I've been working on that. Or we are going to be moving because we found our dream home or something. But no, nothing like that. Sorry. It's not good news why I haven't been on here. So what's been going on is I've been having some health issues. I've been actually having them for a few months now. Nothing really major in the beginning. I've been having some postmenopausal bleeding. And I just figured it was something because it wasn't anything super heavy, but it's kind of like getting a period that lasted a couple weeks, but like super light, like just hardly anything. And then you'd go another month and you'd be fine, and then it would start up again. And so this has been going on for a few months. And like I said, I think it's just like with my fibroids is what I was thinking, because I knew I had fibroids and they said that they can do some bleeding. And I didn't really think anything of it, but it got really bad in December. So December 7th was my first really bad bout with the bleeding, where it was just, I'm going to be a little graphic here. It was just like coming out of me like water for like a minute or two. And I felt like I was hyperventilating. And the bad part is my husband wasn't home at the time. I was alone. He had to go out of town for a week, so he had flown out, and it wasn't like I could just call him and say, hey, come back, So I dealt with this by myself. It kind of not wiped me out of my energy and everything, but I still tried to get some of my decorating done. I did a few more videos and everything. And the worst part happened on December 16th. That was my last video. That evening around 8:30, it happened again with just a major bleeding. Of course, my husband was back at that point, and I let him know, and he says, well, do you want to go to the emergency room? And I said, well, no, it's stopped. I feel a little better now. And it picked up again at 1:30 the next morning on the 17th. And it did it again. And that's when I said to him, I said, just take me to the emergency room. I said, I can't handle this anymore. I'm feeling really weak. And it turned out that when I got to the emergency room, of course, you have to wait a few hours before they do anything. I mean, they got me back there, but it was like a couple hours before the doctor came in to see me. They put an IV in me, and they were taking a bunch of blood to run some tests. And I told them what was been going on. It turns out my blood count was really, really low, and I was at that level where I needed to have a blood transfusion. So they gave me a pint of blood. It takes about 2 hours to do that. So I was there from 2 in the morning till 8 in the morning. On the 17th, they released me. They gave me some hormones because they said that, it's possibly it is the fibroids, and the hormones will kind of help with the bleeding, not make it as bad. And they said, like, you should see your doctor. I said, well, I have an appointment on the 20th. I had already made an appointment, but, you couldn't get anything quicker than that at the time when I was scheduling the appointment. So the bleeding had stopped until the day of the appointment. And I think it's because, with having to drive over, it's like a 20-minute drive, just being, the jiggling of the road and just being sitting upright and everything, because I stayed in bed the whole time before then. And when I got there to the doctor, because I'm going to possibly be having a biopsy, I wanted to get, go to the restroom. And I noticed it started to bleed a little bit. So I thought, that's not good, because I haven't had any bleeding until now. So I go in to have the exam done, and they said yes. I told them everything that happened on Sunday morning, and they said yes, we're definitely going to do a biopsy. So they were getting ready to do the biopsy. I signed the thing you got to sign, allowing them to do it. And then all of a sudden, it happened again. Not as bad, but it started coming out really a lot. So luckily, the hospital, which is a different hospital than I went to, we went to one that was closer to us instead of the one that's closer to the doctor's office, which is one that they're more affiliated with. So they got me into the hospital gowns and everything because it was kind of hard to put my clothes back on when, you're having so much blood coming out. And my husband drove me over to the emergency room at the hospital there, get me in there, had to stay in the emergency room part, I think for a couple of hours. They did an ultrasound just to see what else was going on. This one that has to go up inside of you, which is not the most comfortable thing when you've been bleeding and not feeling too well down in that area. And so then I got admitted to the hospital. That was on the 20th. They gave me a different hormone, which was a lot more potent, as the doctor said. And I stayed overnight. I was released the evening of the 21st, went home. Of course, being in the car, sitting upright was not good for me because I started bleeding again. I was actually having some blood clots and everything, and, sorry to be so graphic, but that's just what was happening. And of course, I've been taking the medication, but I think it was just being in the car, being jiggled around and everything, and sitting upright after being laying down in a bed, basically, for, a day and a half, plus before then. So when we got home, I did have a little bit of an episode, but nothing major. And then I haven't had any bleeding since, so that is good. But the medication was helping to regulate my body and everything, my hormones, so I wouldn't have that much bleeding. So I've mainly been staying in bed. I missed Christmas. It was, this is the worst Christmas I've ever had. I had everything almost all ready for everybody was going to come over here. I had everything all nicely decorated. I had almost all the shopping done for the meal, and I didn't get to have anybody here except for my husband. So, like I said, worst Christmas ever. Yeah. But, like I was staying in bed mainly, just walking to the bathroom. That took just about all my energy just to get up out of bed. Had to do it really slow. And then, just to go to the bathroom, just took about everything out of me when I first got back. And I had an appointment on the 28th to go back to the doctor. She wanted to see how things were. Plus, I was going to have the biopsy done. And so this is a different doctor, the one that got assigned to me at the hospital. So her medical practice is a little bit further away than the other one. So that's it's a 35 to 40 minute drive from our house. And that was not the most fun thing either. This time, my husband said, how about you recline back in the seat? And I had a pillow behind my head, and I had my seatbelt on, but I kind of was holding it up a little bit just so it wasn't, pushing down on me. And I was just really worried that it was going to start bleeding again just from the ride. And it didn't, which is good. But it was the most horrible experience, when you're not feeling well, to do a 35 to 40 minute drive just one way, then you got to come back. So I had the biopsy done. And she told me that with my ultrasound that I have a huge fibroid that's taken up most of my uterus. So my option, the best option, is the hysterectomy, which is what we're going to do. And let's see. So when I got back home from my doctor's appointment, I had the surgery department call me to give me my dates. They had 2 dates that could be picked, and they were just giving me the dates, and they were going to send it on to the doctor. I don't know if I get to pick it or if the doctor picks it. But she goes, okay, January 22nd. And I'm like, okay, that's the day before my birthday. And then she goes, and the other one's February 14th. And I'm like, okay, Valentine's Day, great. So I'm either going to have surgery the day before my birthday, or I'm having it on Valentine's Day. I'm like, okay, that's nice. So like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I have not got my results back yet from the biopsy. That was on the 28th. I do have to go back in a couple weeks from the 28th. She's supposed to call me, my doctor, my gynecologist. And she's going to probably schedule me to get some blood drawn just to see how my blood count is, because I got to get back to normal before the surgery so I don't have to have another blood transfusion, because I really do not want to have any more blood transfusions. So I don't know which date is actually going to be for the surgery. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what's happening. So I'm not going to be doing any videos. I will give you an update video of what's going on and when my surgery is scheduled. But I had some collaborations that were scheduled for January, and it's not going to happen. There's no way that I can do it. You know, this is like the longest that I've been sitting upright right now to do this video. And after this, I'm going to go back and lay down because this does wear me out just doing this. But I am feeling a lot better. I know I don't look so great right now, but I looked a lot worse than this. I was really pale. So just want to let you know what's going on. I am also considering not doing YouTube anymore. I know it's going to be quite a while for the recovery after the hysterectomy. So I don't know. You know, right now it's been driving me crazy just staying in the house. I haven't gone anywhere except to the doctor. I really don't want to go in a car unless I have to, and you know, it's really hard missing out on all those after Christmas sales, which I really love to go and do. I didn't get to do that this year. So, like I said, just want to let everybody know what's going on, and I will give you an update once I find out more information about my test results and when my surgery is done. But I am feeling much, much better than it. I'm not 100%. I feel like I might be maybe about at 75% feeling, maybe 60 to 75% feeling better than I did back then. So like I said, I don't know when the next video is, but I will definitely let you know what's going on. So I'm just going to say bye for now.